I'm going to record this video, and I'll put it in our Notion, and I'll also put a little link up here. So intro video, and I'll attach it to that thing there once we finish this video. So what is a lookup then? Well, basically, a lookup is a way of, let's say I wanted to type in a number. For example, I use lookups a lot. Say maybe I want to type in a student's number, like your student number, and I want it to tell me maybe how many lessons that we've taught that I've taught you, or maybe I want to tell you what subject we're learning about, or whatever it might be. Maybe I want to type in a subject topic, like perhaps we're going to learn about light. I want to know what subject is that, and I would like for that to automatically say physics, right? That's what a lookup is. So, and then if I typed in something else like atomic structure, I want that to automatically say chemistry. But rather than me having to type it out all the time. And also the point of it is not just to make it automatic so as I can save time, but it's also to find that information. Maybe I don't know what subject atomic structure is, and so I want to find out. So exactly, yeah. So if I'm creating a database for students to use, then I can create that database and get them to interact with it, and they can use a lookup to do that. So we'll start off by making a table. So we'll say topic, and then we'll say subject. So we said atomic structure, and we said light. Do you want to add maybe 5 more topics of your choice? And underneath here, we'll write a subject. Okay, so I'll just do this one, and then I'm going to pause the video and see if you can come up with some yourself. Okay, so we've got our little list of subjects and topics. Let's just put the heading in bold, and we'll make that a title. Maybe let's also give this a color up here like that. Okay, so we've got our topic on the left, and we've got our subject on the right. So if I type in atomic structure, it should give me chemistry. So I need a formula. So what I do is the most commonly used formula is going to be VLOOKUP. So these are we're looking at we'll just do a couple of different lookups. We're going to do VLOOKUP and we're going to do HLOOKUP today. So VLOOKUP, if I just type in VL, then it's the that's enough. I don't need to write anything else. I can just press tab, and then I've got the whole thing there done. Okay, so we've got our VLOOKUP formula, and let's have a look at the question mark. It gives us 3 different arguments. So what do these arguments mean? Well, the first one is the search key, which means what do you want me to look for? And I want you to look for this thing here. And then I put a comma. The next argument was the range, which, in other words, where do you want me to search for it? And I want you to search for it in this table here. So just in those values there. I mean, I could, to be honest with you, go all the way down to the bottom of the sheet, and that way, if I add things to the bottom of the table, it will carry on searching amongst those. And then do a comma, and the last one is the range. Now, basically, we're going to just say 0 for this. Okay. Best to do is to type 0. I think maybe on Google Sheets, in Excel you have to type either 1 or 0, and in Google Sheets you might be able to leave it blank, and I think it assumes it's 0. But we're going to write 0 there. I think 1 is a little bit more complicated. That's when you're using numbers, and we won't get into that just yet. So if I type in that now, oh, what did I do wrong? Let's have a look. I think maybe it's because that's lowercase. Let's just see. Possible I did a typo. No, unless I misspelled that there. I'm just going to copy that into there to make sure. Oh, what did I do wrong there then? Searching there, searching amongst that table. Oh, whoops! I missed an argument out. Oh, so the third argument is what column is it looking in? There's only two columns in this table, and the answer is going to be in the second column. So I put 2 for the second column, enter. No, it's chemistry. So now if I type in a different one, like light, it gives physics, sound, and it doesn't matter if it's upper or lowercase, physics, and so on. Now, so what about then? What about if I misspelt it? Again, error. So I can fix that by doing an if error wrap. If error, and then put another bracket there. So now if there's a misspelling, it does nothing. Or I can give it a message, and I'll just say, I don't know, check. What should I say? Check typing. I don't know. Check input. Let's just say that. Okay. If there's a mistake, then it'll say check input. Okay. So light, physics. If I misspelled light, it says check input. Okay. What else then? What about to stop myself from mistyping it or from choosing a topic that isn't there? Well, what I want to do now is use something called data validation. So if I click on that, and I'm going to choose data validation. Data validation is allowing me to restrict what can be put in that particular cell. So I'm going to make it a list from a range, and I want that range to be these values. I'm going to do G5 to G, and that means the rest of the entire column. So which means you typed in 8 down here, which means should be able to pick 8 in a moment. I'll show you what I mean. Save. Now we've got a drop down, and there you go. I'm allowed to pick 8. So whatever I put in there, let's add another one now. We're going to put relativity. It's also physics. Yeah, and there it is, relativity. Right. So when I choose for one of these now there's less of a problem. Can I still type over the top of them? Yes, I can. I can still type over the top, but can I change that? Let's go to that. Data validation. Reject input. There you go. So now I won't be able to type in anything else. So I can put if I misspell something, it won't let me type it in. So now I can only type in the ones from this group that I've chosen to pick. Okay. What about if I wanted to do multiple? Well, I can drag this down, and I've got multiple things there. If I drag this down, you might find that it looks like it's fine at first, but then that one works. What about this one down here? That one says check input. It shouldn't say check input, but the reason for that is because we've got an issue with something called relative and absolute relative and absolute cell reference. A3 is a cell reference. When I go down to this one, it says A4. When I go down to this one, it says A5. But in the same way, the cell references to this column is changing. Now, when I copy this down to this one, I want it to read that, not the original one. But I don't want these ones to change. So what I do is I highlight those ones there, and I tap F4. I should tap F4. Oh, I see. I'm tapping F3. Hey, what's going on? I think there's something. What's going on my keyboard? Okay, hang on. Right, why isn't that working then? Right, okay, I don't know why it wasn't working at first. So it puts these these dollar signs in there. And what that does is locks it. So now when I drag it down, that one works because they're all saying G5 to H1000 because I've locked it. Whereas this isn't locked. Now what about if I copy that over to there? Okay, let's check inputs. Okay. That one's a check inputs. That's an error, right? And that's because it's copying B4 this time. So I can lock a column instead of rather than locking the whole thing. So now I can drag that down there, and also I can move it across a row like that. So that's a little bit about cell references, absolute cell references, and relative cell references, and also about VLOOKUP. So let's look at HLOOKUP now. So I don't often use HLOOKUP, so it's possible that I might mess this up. But if we had something equivalent, this time we got a table of columns. We could have a table of rows. So let's say we had, let's say we have a subtopic and a topic. And this time the subtopics could be something like, I'm trying to think of a good example here. Reflection, which is in the topic light. We could look at protons, which is within the topic atomic structure. Let's have a look at, let's say, hypercubes, and that could be in the topic dimensions. Now, this table we would have to search in a different way because let's say if I typed in reflection. So that's my subtopic. And this is I want it to give me a topic, right? So that's my output. This time what I'm going to do is I'm going to use an HLOOKUP. Very similar. HLOOKUP, tab to open the function up, or you can just type the whole thing out. I want to search that word, comma. Where do I want to search it? I want to search it here. You could highlight the column, the titles as well. Really makes no difference. Lock it, comma, and then it's like which row is this? Not which column is this? Which row? And it's this. Which row is your output going to? Where are you going to find your output? Your output is in the second row down. So 2. And then we do O because we want an exact match. The O is means exact match. Press enter. Now we have light. So this means we could do this. Look, we could do that's topic. Then we could do subject, and we could do a VLOOKUP on the topic. So we could do that. The range was this one here. Let's go just the rest of H, and we'll lock it. Second column, absolute match, and we've got the subject. And now we can actually go, we can say protons, and it tells me it's atomic structure and subject chemistry. That's pretty cool. That's getting a bit more useful now, right? So now I'm going to pause the video, and what I want you to do is see if you can set up a few more of these. And I want to see if you can actually set up a data validation so as I can only pick correct subtopics. So I can only pick one of these 3, okay, in this data validation, okay? Okay, I'll do the data validation. You're working away on your own practice VLOOKUP from the previous part. So I'll do data validation. Of course, you can always rewatch this video. Like before, I'm going to set data validation this time for all of these ones here. Go to data validation. And this time the values are going to be from here. I could just, I think I can do 5. Maybe I can't. Okay. Oh dear. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. And let's not reject the, let's not, well, shall we show a warning? Yes, we'll allow them to enter other things. So I can choose an option like reflection, but I can also type in something else like fraction. The difference here between spreadsheets and databases, one of the differences anyway, is that spreadsheets are using relying a lot more on formulae, whereas databases will link them directly. So if I typed in a new one here, it would add it to my table up there, whereas in a spreadsheet it doesn't. So I'd have to add it in order to search for it. So, which is why Notion's quite good for that. But so I can add it, but it doesn't really work. So maybe it probably would make more sense to actually not allow them to add it. So let's go to data validation. Now notice that this is actually not something that okay. So on Excel you can it realizes that it's part of a whole group and it gives you an option to select the whole group, but it doesn't look like it does that on Google Sheets. So data validation. And this time reject input, save. Okay, so that is the majority really of what you need to do. I think I suppose you could combine this with some conditional formatting. Okay, so maybe you could add a little bit of conditional formatting, perhaps. I tend to like to do orange for chemistry, blue for physics, but I'm just going to do just one of them for now. So we'll say, so here we go. So I'd go conditional. In fact, I think we'll do this. Just do it on this table here. Oh, okay. Hang on. Conditional formatting. I want to delete that one, and add another rule. I don't want it to apply to that. I want it to apply to this table here. Okay. So I want it to apply to this table here. Like that. And we're gonna do a formula equals, and we're gonna say if J11, I'm gonna do an absolute cell reference to column, not the row. If J11 equals chemistry, and make it go orange. I'm done. I did something wrong, didn't I? If J11 equals chemistry, L11. There we go. So whereas if I pick reflection, it won't. So I can set up a new one where the blue physics will go blue. Anyway, we'll stop that there then.